Hello everyone. My name is Mayumi Beckers from Shaman's Directory, and it's always a true honor and joy to be your host at one of our live events. And please feel free to say hello in the chat and let us know where you're tuning in from. It's always wonderful to see who's joining us and from which parts of the world as well, so that we can see all the many beautiful Pachamamas from across the planet that are represented here. And today we have a very special guest and a beautiful program prepared with Andean medicine man Alfredo Huayta Singona, carrier of the ancestral wisdom of the Qanchis Illya Rainbow Lineage of Nokankani, and family member of Master Puma Fredy Quispe Singona. And I am absolutely delighted and grateful that Alfredo said yes to offering his time and energy to share his wisdom and medicine through his lived experience with us about Apu Wachuma and the sacred temple of Chavín de Huántar. And before we begin, I invite you to make yourself comfortable in your own sacred space and turn off any unnecessary devices so you can fully be present and receive the wisdom and transmissions that will be offered to us over the next 1.5 hours or so. And please also allow me to share a few words here about Shaman's Directory. Shaman's Directory is a global online nonprofit created to bring shamanic earth and lineage-based wisdom and medicine traditions to the world's doorstep, and to support the transformation we're all moving through, both individually and collectively. And our vision is to bring original medicine holders and modern-day lineage-trained practitioners together from around the world to weave a sacred web of traditions and creating a safe, respectful, and impeccable place to offer healings and teachings. And this platform is open to a global community that each one of us can be part of. And whether you seek inspiration, guidance, support, or you simply want to learn and explore more about shamanic traditions. And through our offerings, we hope you will be inspired to include and integrate these teachings and practices into your life and being, and deepen your shamanic medicine and path as well. And you're welcome to find out more about us at shamansdirectory.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter and also connect to our social channels so you can stay updated about our upcoming events and offerings from the wider shamanic community. And during our live events, we will not be holding a live Q&A, but there will be a dedicated time toward the end where we will share your questions as well. So please feel free to write your questions, reflections, or words of gratitude in the chat, and we will also make sure to pass these on to Alfredo after our event. And for those of you who may not know Alfredo, please let me introduce him to you. Alfredo is a respected medicine man known in the Andes as a Paco, or Andean priest, devoted to preserving and sharing ancestral healing traditions, guided by Pachamama, Mother Earth, and the Apus, the sacred lores and mountains. He works with medicinal plants and Sami energy, highly refined vibrational frequencies that support transformation, transmutation, and the restoration of energetic balance. His work centers on helping others remember and reclaim their original power and essence so they may grow into the fullest expression of their being. Alfredo's journey on the medicine path became a profound initiation that awakened a deep passion for service, leading him through processes of forgiveness, self-love, and inner transformation. Drawing from lived experience, he holds space for his global community with humility and authenticity, guiding individuals through challenging transitions and helping their personal processes becoming easier to navigate. Through his presence and teachings, Alfredo invites others to walk a path of empowerment, reconnect with the sacred, and embody their true nature with clarity and heart. So I would love to welcome Alfredo here. It's my deepest honor to have you here with us as we explore this beautiful, sacred, and brilliant theme, the spirit of Apu Wachuma, exploring the living temple of Chavín de Huántar. So please, Alfredo, welcome. The space is all yours.
Pachamama News. All my dear Apus, my guardians, my masters, God, Father and Mother, always asking you for your permission, for your guidance, for your light, for your blessings. To this, your Son, always in service for our global family, opening this beautiful space for all my global family today together here. Opo Sangate, Mama Simona, Papsarnante, Mama Verónica, always sending blessings for my global family today together with us to set this beautiful space for everyone to deepen our understandings, our wisdom in everything, in every day, in every step, in every action that we are doing. Yanuku Yanuku Pontai Pontai Varanti Chontai Chontai Varanti Yanuku Yanuku Pontai Pontai Varanti Chontai Chontai Varanti My beautiful family, I'm really happy to be here, really honored, always grateful to each one of you for manifesting this beautiful time, this beautiful space for everyone. Giving thank you to Shaman's Directory for this opportunity of being here with all of you. It's really nice to see some familiar faces today in this beautiful space. I was quite nervous of being here, but after seeing all of you here present, it's giving me the courage and the calm as well to just share the little piece of wisdom that I was taking on the way in my experience. Because as we know, my beautiful family, everyone experiencing life, everyone is, going through this journey on their own. So what I'm going to share today is from the perspective, from the experience that I had working with this beautiful mentor plant, Apu Wachuma, well known as San Pedro or San Pedrito, as we call here in the Andes. So once again, I'm really happy and honored to be here with every one of you. So greetings for everyone, and thank you for allowing me for manifesting this time to be here together. So let's begin after this beautiful opening. In my training, I was told that every day in our lives is a ceremony. So That's why, you know, each time we're opening a space, we need to set, you know, the intentions, the prayers, to keep the flow, to keep the vibration as high as possible for everyone. And this is how we started today, calling on, in this case, the guardians that I work with the most, and actually setting the space as well for every one of you. So thank you so much. And so the medicine of San Pedro, the medicine of Huachuma, is documented here in the Andes from about maybe 4,000 years old, pretty much, possibly older than that, but this is what we have documented through the archaeology, especially, you know, and how this beautiful medicine was surviving to, you know, all these pachacutis, all these transformational times, you know, since since ancient times. And the medicine, you know, manifesting to the Andean people, you know, in a way of support, you know, to awaken, to go deep into our processes. You know, I heard once that actually it was designed, you know, not just like being the plant growing from Pachamama, but could be designed, or maybe it was that connection between the human beings and this beautiful mentor plant here in the Andes. And so, yeah, and surviving all this time till our days with that purpose, of helping people, especially in the times that we are going through. Okay, so according to some studies, the Huachuma plant apparently it wasn't like or domesticated, or it wasn't experienced for everyone, you know. Back then apparently it was just for few people, you know, especially people being prepared to be the next leaders, you know, the next healers, the next shamans. It was pretty much, you know, dedicated for these chosen people, you know, in the past. So that's why they had to go through a lot of training, you know, processes, rituals, and all of that, you know, until they had the opportunity to work with the medicine. And yeah, but it could be like that, or it could be like they were preparing the path for the next generations, you know. So designing, preparing, you know, the right people who could take these traditions, you know, and actually to transcend the generations as well. This medicine, this beautiful medicine, was how can I say this? Like it started, you know, working, you know, with the people from Chavín, you know, the Chavín people, the ones who were studying, were working the most with this medicine. And how we know this? Because of all the iconography, to all the art, you know, the petroglyphs, you know, that these people left in this beautiful temple of Chavín de Huántar, that I will be mentioning a little bit later, you know. And yeah, and since there, it started just expanding, you know, towards the Andes, you know, going to the coast and coming here to the Andes, and apparently actually even going to the jungle as well. So it was covering pretty much, you know, this part of the world. Okay, and but how it could survive to all these, you know, transitions, you know, especially when the I will say it this way, you know, when the white people started, you know, coming here to America, and, you know, little by little to South America, you know, and how this medicine could survive to all this transition. Because remember, when the foreign people start coming, they were coming with new culture, with new beliefs, with new structures, and sometimes it was actually the intention of erasing, or sometimes even exterminating all the traditions that the people in this part of the world had. But especially talking about the Andean people, they used to go really deep into the oracles. That's why there were temples dedicated especially for that. And according to some information that we were getting generation after generation, apparently our elders or these people knew already that they were about to go through a new Pachacuti, a new, changing times. And when they were saying that some people from the other side of the ocean will arrive, and with them, all these new structures will arrive too. And this is actually what happened, especially to this side of the of America, when the Spaniards arrived and they just started just doing what they did. But our people had as well that openness of, instead of fighting against that new structures, they decided to integrate as part of them. And this is actually what this medicine is giving us as well, giving us the chance to integrate all the experiences that we are going through. Anyways, when they arrived, once again, they just were trying to cut off all this connection to the traditions, the rituals, and everything. So once the colony was established, the church established a new law of just going to traveling to different, towns, to different, cities, in order to see if the people were still, if they were continuing with those traditions and belief systems. This is how this priest, I don't remember the name, but it's documented this as well, but this priest arrived to the Andes or somewhere, in that process, where elders were gathering in a beautiful circle in front of the fire, and they were drinking out of these beautiful, not anymore gold or golden or silver cups, but these beautiful clay cups, wooden cups, and they were drinking some kind of liquid that this person thought it was chicha. The chicha is, the corn beer, the fermented corn that, was really, was helping our people as well, in their daily activities. Anyways, when this guy arrived and he saw all these guys, drinking, from these cups, he was curious. That's the thing, he was really curious. In a different situation, they could be just, okay, why don't we take all of this, whatever it is that, and we would just erased this, these rituals and everything. But instead of, he decided to try, because he thought it was chicha, and these elders say, okay, first experience this, and then you will tell us. This guy drank the medicine, or drank this beverage, and after that, the experience that this guy had was actually like touching the doors of heaven. He could feel, all this profound, experience and self-realization, of what is life actually. So, who is the saint, according to the Catholicism, owning the keys of the doors of the heaven? Is San Pedro. And this is how this medicine apparently could survive because of that. And actually, this is how as well this medicine changed the name into, what we know nowadays as San Pedro or San Pedrito. But the original name of the medicine was Wachuma. This is how we know here in the Andes. In some other places, they know as Achuma or as Awakolla or Hawakollai. But now we know that the Awakolla or the Hawakollai is a different variety from the cactus of Wachuma. Just going to the name of Wachuma. Wachuma is coming from two Quechua words. Wachu, that means the lines on the farms, the way that we are farming in order to take advantage of the water and all of that, those beautiful lines of, the crops. And Uma, that means head, literally translated, okay? But Quechua language, it can be translated literally because it has a deep meaning. So in this case, Wachu, it means lines, but at the same time, it means alignment. And Uma is not just referring to the head. Uma is referring to the sacred intelligence that we have, to that connection that we have with the source. So if we mix these two words together, Wachuma then means the being or the entity or the master plan who aligns you with the source, which aligns you with everything, aligns all the energetic fields in the body that in some other traditions are called chakras. Here in the Andes, these were called ojpos, which means bubbles. So aligning all these ojpos, all these chakras, and at the same time, aligning our understanding once again with the source. Okay, so this is a little bit a brief history of the evolution of this beautiful mentor plan of Wachuma. I believe that they knew that we were about to go through different, times, different eras. For us, this new era happened in 2012. It was a new beginning. And what is, what we are going through these times, a lot of things are changing. We're going through a really big shift. So this medicine, together with other medicines, survived this process because of these times. And this is why this medicine as well is now being more open, more accessible for people. Because I remember in my training, and actually before that as well, when my master was being trained, even these lineages were really close. They weren't that open. And sometimes they were even keeping that just into the families as a sacred heritage. But once again, we are going through different times, and this is why these medicines are now showing up for all of us in order to help us once again to connect to what is within, and like that to be always in good service for our community. But what is this wisdom about is to begin with this work first with ourselves, because this is where we need to start doing the work. We have this saying that we don't give what we don't have. And it makes sense, sometimes it can sound a little bit maybe like selfish, but it makes sense, because how we can share love, how we can share forgiveness, how we can share gratitude, how we can share all these beautiful, teachings. If we don't have that, if we don't put in practice all of this first with us. Okay, so this is actually these teachings coming from this beautiful medicine to start doing the work for ourselves, and then we can be in sacred service to our family, extended family, our community, and little by little to our global family as well. Okay, and now I can say that this part is beautiful. I really love experiencing and living doing, what I'm, experiencing in my life. But now I can say that. A couple of years ago, I was about to, okay, this is not for me. Because this medicine was taking me through all these portals of self-realization or self-knowing. Because before working with this medicine, I thought that I was living the life that I wanted. But at the end, I realized that actually I was just living the life that others wanted for me. That's why it was really challenging for me when I started just realizing that there was more. And because I grew up with a specific structure, so just breaking all these rules, breaking all these protocols, it took me a while, to the point of even saying, this is not for me. Thank you so much. I don't want this. I don't need all of this. I want my normal life back. And actually, when I was going to my master and saying the same words, thank you so much, dear master, it's not for me. It's too much. It's too overwhelming. My master, in his wisdom and in his love, he told me, okay, yeah, but I can accept your words or your apologies for just giving up this path. You have to go to the masters. And it's not about apologizing. It's just taking what you got, in your initiation, and just go and offer back to the mountains, offer back to Pachamama, or offer back to any sacred place. And then you can continue the life that you want. But he said, I recommend you to just have a break, a couple of days. Right now, you are just like reacting because of, the emotion or maybe the stress that you're going through. Take a few days and then we will talk. And it was like that, actually. While I was just trying to be away from that, and then suddenly, like something just calling me to go back to, or to continue the work. At the beginning, it was challenging, but then I started realizing that I was just taking some heaviness from my shoulders, like releasing those, responsibilities that I was taking on, and just feeling like, okay, for a reason, I have a different perspective. This is why when we're working with the medicine, and this is why we tell to our people as well, it's too soon to realize what's happening at that moment. Because once we're working with this medicine, it's not just for that day. It's not just for the following days. This is actually taking us or preparing us for things coming, maybe in the following months, in the following years. So the essence of this beautiful medicine, my beautiful family, is to help you to face some aspects of our lives. Because every aspect in our lives are all connected. If we're struggling with manifesting abundance, it's because we are struggling with something within, maybe some processes from the past. And at the same time, this can be affecting other aspects, family, love, relationships. Sometimes we can say, I'm really good, in my work, but for a reason, I'm not in that harmony in my relationships or in my family. Once we think these aspects are separated, they're actually connected. And of course, sometimes maybe because we're focusing too much in one of them. But this is how this beautiful medicine as well is helping us to reconnect with everything, little by little. Okay, so these are all these beautiful teachings that Wachuma medicine is bringing for every one of us. Okay, and nowadays the process is quite gentle. I know there are many lineages working with this medicine, and they all work in their own way. But in the way that we decided to work here in the Andes, in Cusco City, in the Chinchero family, the Rainbow Lineage family, is to work always with Sami, with unconditional love. And why is this? Because we believe that humanity went through already a lot of suffering, a lot of sadness. And that's why when this beautiful medicine, what we want to manifest for our global family is the same process. The process doesn't have to be hard. The process actually needs to be gentle. And with this medicine, it's not about what you want, it's actually what you really need. And at this point, the medicine knows what to give you as an experience, as teachings in your lives. So once again, I'm really, really happy of being able to be in the presence of this beautiful medicine. And this is why as well, we are doing this work in order to show the people what this medicine is about. Because nowadays we have that access, and if you go to internet and you are just like, searching for some information from this beautiful plant and all medicines, then now we can have more access to a proper information. But just, 20 years ago, if you were Googling that, we were like searching information of these medicines, they were just like, other things, different things. And because of that, before working with this medicine, I had actually a really, really deep judgment against the medicine. For me, was whatever, but not medicine. Until I was in the presence of it, and then I could understand what was this medicine about. And it just changed my life in ways that I can even imagine. I'm still navigating through that, because we never end being students. We never end learning new things. Okay, here in the Andes, we don't have the 7 chakras that in other traditions they have. People work with 4 of them. The one that is gathering the head area, including the crown chakra, the third eye, and the throat. We know this Ohpo as Yachay, sacred knowledge. Then from the throat till the solar plexus, including the heart chakra as well, we have the Munai Ohpo, the Munai chakra. From the solar plexus, just right below the navel, we are talking about the Lyankai chakra, the strength. And then from this area and all the way down to the sexual gland, we are talking about then the Kausai, Ohpo, or the Kausai chakra. So this medicine is helping us to connect with each space, and is helping us to connect with each body. Sometimes we believe that it's just this vessel, the only body that we have, but we have many bodies. In the Andean tradition, our people considered that, there were 3 dimensions living together. The inner world that was represented by the serpent, the physical world that was represented by the Puma, and then the upper world that was represented by the condor, the famous trilogy. But these three were present in this temple as well, in this body, in this existence. And these three were called pachas, the word pacha meaning time and space. So the first pacha in our body, the serpent, or in Quechua language called the ukupacha, the inner world, was the kundalini, that energy making possible this body to move. If you want, you can call that the soul. Then the physical body, the kai pacha, this present, manifested through this physical body. And then the hanach pacha, the upper world, that is our spirit. So the sacred numerology of our ancestors were and is present in everything, in every aspect of our lives, even in the composition of this existence. So with this medicine, then we have the opportunity to learn and to connect with each temple, with each body, with each aspect in our lives. And helping us to increase the experience, then is going to help us as well to connect with different temples. In the world, we have as well the chakra temples all around the world. Sometimes to connect with this, sacred places, it's not that necessary to manifest ourselves physically to that place at the beginning. We can travel. Just closing our eyes and imagining that we are in a specific place, we can go and be there until we manifest ourselves physically in these places. All human beings have the capacity of doing that. But because nowadays we belong to a collective mentality, sometimes there's some kind of pressure, just like, putting us low. So this is why this medicine as well is helping us to expand, or at least to remember the capacity that we have naturally to connect, to download, to experience everything that is surrounding us. One of these powerful and beautiful temples, once again, then, is this place. This temple located in the central Andes of Peru, Chavín de Huántar, where we believe that the medicine of Wachuma started. Maybe it was older, but these people were the ones who were, experiencing, investigating, working deeply with this beautiful mentor plant. That's why, my beautiful family, today I wanted to bring this one as well, this very special and beautiful temple, for you to see and feel what I'm talking about. Okay, for this, I prepared some pictures for you. This is Chavín de Huántar, a picture taken at night. It's really beautiful and really, powerful. So where is this beautiful temple located? I was telling you that it's in the central Andes. So using the technology, Chavín de Huántar, once again, is located in the central Andes of Peru in South America, in a region called Huaraz. Huaraz that belongs to the department of Ancash. Okay, so it's a little district of in this region, Chavín de Huántar, and right now we can see, it's like an aerial picture or Google Earth picture, how this temple is nowadays. Those roofs that you see, these are in order to protect and preserve, the structures in this place. There's a little journey through the valley of Chavín de Huántar. All the societies, in order to set a city or a settlement, they needed to be as close as possible to one specific source, that is water. And I don't think it's a coincidence, but all civilizations, the capital of each one of them was in the middle of two rivers. In Cusco City, we have the same thing for the Incas. Here in Chavín, the same thing. Two rivers getting together, and they building on the pretty much on the edge, on the border of this river. And because of that very important element, they had to design this temple with channels of water in order to, in the Andes, when it rains, but it rains like crazy. So they needed to have this channel system of, to drainage the water, and at the same time to take in the water, supply the water to this temple. Okay, in this picture where we were looking right now, all the spaces that this complex has. So, a picture of Chavín. How was the development in this place? According to the information, the archaeologists dated the development of Chavín 1,200 years BC till 200 years AC. Pretty much like, about like almost 2,000 years, more or less. And the structure in Chavín, these pyramids in Chavín, were being built in different stages. So the one that is looking in yellow was the first structures, and then little by little, like they were adding more and more and more. So all this time, once again, since 1,200 years BC till 200 years AC, all this place, they were building little by little. This is why I personally believe that Chavín could be even older than the archaeology is saying. In all the secret temples, from the south to the north, among the Andes, we are going to find always, megalithic structures at the base. At this point, we can say, yeah, if you want to build something really big, you need to have a really good foundations. But sometimes those foundations are not being used, but they are part of the structures. So why they didn't use those structures? Maybe because they were, I don't know, but they were about to do that, or maybe they were older. And instead of using these spaces, they decided to just build something around or something inside, just following the design of these places. And I'll tell you why we are saying this, okay? Do you see like the evolution was happening like little by little in different, stages? It's not the only place where we can witness this. Chavín till 2000 pretty much, was considered the beginning of the Andean civilization, the first culture that we had in our development, until around the 90s. Another place was being discovered. At that point, it was just a little place, a little establishment. But then, little by little, when the excavations, covered the whole area, they discovered that this place was really big. And I'm talking about Caral. Caral, that is 200 kilometers far from Lima, the capital of Peru, when the archaeologists discovered a lot of pyramids covering all that area, the valley of Supe. And doing all the, the investigations, dating all the remains the archaeologists found in this place, they discovered that this place was actually 5,000 years old. So older than Chavín. At this point, Chavín still was considered the beginning of the Andean culture, but not. Caral was older than that. Okay, so what I'm mentioning Caral right now, because when archaeologists were excavating the pyramids to discover what was inside, they were just taking one, let's say this is the apparently the entrance to the pyramid. They were just excavating that and they discovered that it was a wall. Some people were saying, oh, maybe that's because they wanted to hide something from strange people. They moved that wall out and they discovered another one. And like that, little by little. So at one point they realized that they were pyramids on top of other pyramids. So the hypothesis was when one period was complete, we can even talk about dynasties. The other ones taking care of that place decided to build something new on top of that, to be the astronomical observatories, to be the main temples and things like that. And something that we are not sure about if this was the same people just doing this kind of work, or maybe they were different other tribes that were traveling and finding those places and then saying, okay, let's just build up something new on top of this. And like that. The same thing we could witness, through these pictures that I was showing you, and how Chavín apparently was being built since the beginning until what we know nowadays. This is a 3D reconstruction of the place because now we are doing the restoration process, but this is the idea of how this place used to be in the past, especially the main temple, okay? And since these times, our people were working with, or designing the cities in specific shapes. In this case, Chavín de Huántar apparently was designed in the shape of, what is that? A puma. What is the other city that was designed like that here in the Andes? Cusco City. Cusco City has as well the shape of a puma, the Incan city. And like this, Chavín apparently had the same design. So those two little towers on top might be the eyes of this puma. And this one that is like the main door. We say the main door, but it doesn't take you anywhere because there is a wall just behind that. But this one, this entrance might be representing the mouth of this puma, okay? So there is still a lot of mysteries hidden in our sacred places, okay? We can identify two different periods in this place. The first one, and we believe it was the oldest temple that was connecting check. The first one that was connecting this temple where this being, this entity was located. We believe that this entity was apparently the main god of the Chavín people. So in the picture where you can see the sun rising is the mountain that is located to the east of Chavín. And at one point, this mountain was perfectly aligned, especially with the solstice of summer, 21st December, with this main temple, where this, monolith is located. But something happened. Yeah, we can see these two right now. So the one in red is where this monolith is located, going through the only circular plaza in Chavín. That's why the archaeologists call the old axis. And the new axis, after that, was in a perfect alignment then with the main pyramid in Chavín. Crossing that square plaza that is there. So Chavín has two main plazas, a circular one and a square one. But these two belong to different, periods of time. Apparently, that's why the axis of that alignment with the solstices changed. And of course, the main altar, or one of the main altars in Chavín, is this one with 7 holes. It's like a little mesa. And this mesa, because of those 7, holes, was perfectly aligned, apparently, with the constellation of the Pleiades, the 7 stars. Each little hole for each star, in this case. Thanks to the archaeoastronomy, now we can do a better calculation of, how old a place could be. Remember that our planet is moving in the shape of a pendulum, but the angle of this pendulum is changing 1 degree every 26,000 years. This might explain why at the beginning, Chavín de Huántar was aligned with the circular plaza first, and then with the square plaza. 4 degrees of difference. Our planet can, the lowest that our planet can be is 22.8 degrees. And the max that our planet can go is 24.4 degrees. Right now we are in 23.5 degrees of angle. And according to some information, this is the best position that our planet has. This is why, Pachamama is, it's lovely. I can say it that way. Because having the angle a little bit lower, it can create a different environment, different climates. I can say even like maybe too cold. When we go to 24.4, the opposite. So manifesting a really hard time for human beings. But the one that we are in right now is the best. Once again, in different other places among the Andes and around the world as well, we can see that the angle, not just in relation to the sun, but the angle with constellation and things like that are changing. Once I heard that even, in the whole Andes, this is why our people used to do a lot of pilgrimages, because they were just moving together with the sun, moving together with these periods of times. That's why some places were abandoned. Because according to the alignment with the cosmos, these temples weren't in that perfect alignment anymore. That's why they needed to just find another place in order to build a new axis. Maybe that's why in South America we have this sacred line, the one that we call the Capagnan, that is crossing our planet in 45 degrees, starting in Bolivia, in Titicaca Lake, and continuing all the way up to the north west in this case. And this imaginary line is crossing very important places on the way. Tiahuanaco in Bolivia, Titicaca Lake, then we have Pucara, Then we have Cusco, Machu Picchu, and like that, towards the Pacific Ocean. So they were always working with this beautiful alignment. And Chavín the Huántar was doing the same thing, or was experiencing the same thing. This is the one that is inside the main area of Chavín, the famous monolith. And this one is, this is like a really big knife. You can see the shape of this monolith. But all this work, these carvings on this monolith, when you just like open that, you can see this entity. This guy, like someone with the face of a puma. This one is located in the main chamber in Chavín the Huántar, something that I didn't mention yet. Chavín the Huántar is not just the pyramids that we can see from outside. Chavín the Huántar actually is still going underneath. Until now, I think they discovered a third floor underneath. And the archaeologists are discovering more and more. For a reason, there was this kind of, feeling of our people to build these networks of tunnels underneath, and not just the Chavín people, the Incas as well had that. And nowadays, the archaeologists are just excavating one of those here in Sacsayhuaman in Cusco. And this one might be connected with the Temple of the Sun, the Coricancha. And the belief is that these systems of tunnels might be connecting with many other temples. Just imagine Cusco connected with Machu Picchu, Cusco connected with the Bolivian side, and like that. And this is the presence, or one of the proofs that these people were already working with the Wachuma plant. This is the wing. This is a winged being. Yeah, the archaeologists call an angel or the Wachuma master. And in its hand is holding the cactus of Wachuma. This one is located in the circular plaza in Chavín, and this is actually like a sequence of different, winged beings around. But one of them, or the one that is clear, because there were a lot of pieces of this beautiful art or of this beautiful coding around the plaza. But after many years of being excavated, and sometimes not just for the archaeologists, other people, the treasure hunters, came in and just taking pieces of that, and just few of them being left. And this is the one that we have as a proof that these people were working already with the Wachuma plant. And another thing that we are able to see in this place is all these heads nailed to the walls. And these were like the protectors of the whole enclosure. And this is the few that were rescued, because most of them were taken sometimes for the people. And sometimes, we can be a little bit crazy sometimes. Use one of these to build the foundation of your house. Because going back to the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, there was no control. So people couldn't say, oh, I want this to be an ornament in my house, and they took it. Or I need some material to build my house, I will take this. And that's why these were the few that were rescued. Few of them still in Chavín, most of them in Lima. I think these are in the Museum Larco Herrera in Lima, where they were collecting all the remains of different civilizations or cultures here in Peru especially. But these are the ones that are still in Chavín. So these were possible to be taken thanks to my friend Mitchell, that I think is here with us today. So the time where we went to visit Chavín, we have access to the museum, and they allow us to have just few pictures of these remains. And what I'm showing you this, my beautiful family, is how the Chavín people were working with the medicine. In this case, we can see pretty much that evolution or transfiguration of people, what people were experiencing after drinking the Wachuma serum medicine. In the first picture, we can see like a kind of like human face, and little by little, this is changing. this human face is changing into like a feline, and little by little, different thing, until we have completely like a Puma face. Or this was the evolution or the transfiguration after drinking this medicine, or maybe it has another meaning behind. But there is still, once again, the only information that we have is thanks to the archaeology, because any other reading information directly from these people, we don't have that. We have a lot of coding, but we are still studying all of this. And this is something that I was talking about. This is the main pyramid in Chavín, and that beautiful portal that is in front. This one has a beautiful characteristic. Right now, it's not that visible, but just imagine a line in the middle. From this line to the left, it was all white granite. From this line to the right, it was a type of a black stone. So these people were already working with the sacred duality as well. And how they were showing this, because of two types of material that they used to build this part of the temple. But this one is just the basement of the wall. This is apparently the main entrance. But if you see inside, there is another wall. So, or they were trying to build a new pyramid on top, using this as the main entrance or something like that. Or it could be actually a portal, symbolic portal to use as an astronomical observatory, or maybe something else that was happening here in this place. The pyramids are amplifiers of energy. This is why around the world they were building that, but why they wanted to amplify the energy, or what kind of energy the human beings try to amplify. That's why they were building everywhere the pyramids. Anyways, in this beautiful remain, we have, in this circular pillars, we have these two. And this is once again, the confirmation of the duality that these people were working with, because the one on the left is representing a feminine winged being, and the one on the right is a masculine winged being. So the whole temple was already an altar, or I can even say maybe a mesa. This monolith was located in the middle of the circular plaza. And this one as well was the one in alignment with the summer solstice on 21st of December, that was happening previously. And once again, maybe after that, or the axis changed, or they were paying attention to something else. Maybe they played this constellation, because in front of the main door that I just showed you previously, it is this altar of the Pleiades, this piece of rock with 7 holes. Or once again, maybe because the axis of our planet changed, and they were using these two to check each time the planet was changing. If we're talking about 26,000 years of difference, once again, then Chavín could be older than we believe. Okay, I was telling you that under the pyramids, there is a system, a network of tunnels, different chambers going underneath. Until now, 3, I think 4 of them already. This is the circular plaza. And this one, according to the information, to the archaeology, where the people were being prepared to begin with that last test. After being prepared to be, the next leaders, the next, healers, shamans, they had to start in this plaza. The circular plaza, or the circle, is always representing the cosmic feminine, Pachamama, Mother Earth. So this process was actually like a way of reborning, because to be a leader, to be initiated, you know, pretty much like we have to die, but not to die physically. We have to die to limitations, you know, to old structures, fears, doubts, things like that. That's why they started apparently in this place, drinking the medicine. And we believe that the medicine that these people were drinking were completely different, or it had few things else in that preparation. Nowadays, we just use the cactus and coca leaves. But back then, we don't know. We are not sure what they were using. So there was apparently like a little hole in the middle of the plaza where the people had to leave offerings in order to begin the journey inside the tunnel. It's a maze, it's a labyrinth, actually. Underneath, the archaeologists said that it was all dark inside. And as you can see, it's like a maze. Aqueducts underneath, an air system, you know, connecting the spaces. After wind with the, you know, effects of the medicine, all our senses are really activated. And just imagine being in the darkness when you can, you know, the echo inside, where you can feel, you know, your heartbeat, where you can listen clearly how the wind is blowing inside and how the water is running underneath. I can just imagine, like, you know, that kind of process, being like really activated and just sensitive to all this, you know, all what was happening inside with the sound and everything, plus what was happening here in your mind, and of course in your heart. What was the idea? The idea was, after going inside the labyrinth, the idea was to get where this guy was, and where the only chamber was enlightened. Most of the time, the people, you know, Chavín and Huántar apparently had different exits. So if you were going there, you know, once again, the idea was to get where this main chamber was. And you can see in the video the effect of the medicine that apparently they were going through. In this case, they are showing, you know, that they were holding a torch, but we believe that they were just going into the darkness just like that. And the only, once again, space enlightened was the chamber of this monolith. And apparently they were using, like, you know, pieces of quartz where could help to enlighten that place. So the only one illuminated. Anyways, going to the chamber, sometimes if you were just, like, you know, going too much to your head, you could just follow where the water was running, where the wind was going, and suddenly just being out of the pyramid. If that happened, you failed. But if you just trust in your heart and saying, okay, even if the wind and the water are running that way or flowing that way, I'm gonna trust what I'm feeling right now. I think it's this way. And just like going in there and suddenly finding that space. But once again, being under the effects of the medicine, and just imagine looking this guy with that fierce face there, that can be actually such a process, such a shock. According to the archaeologists, the priests might be offering some sacrifices, you know, apparently it could be blood. What kind of blood? We don't know. What we love to believe is that maybe they were offering the Wachuma, the medicine. as an offering. And just like, making this liquid just cover all the carvings in the monolith. And that's why how they were representing these rituals in honor to this being. So something that I want to tell you is that my master, went to this place many years ago. Okay. And he said that he tried a little bit of ayahuasca inside. Just imagine if I went there with Wachuma, and even, if the place has like nowadays some lights, even though, the experience is completely different. With Wachuma, just imagine drinking ayahuasca there. My master said that he was, before you had access to his chamber. Nowadays, it's like a really big glass in front of that. So you can just go where, right now, what you can see in the picture, you can go and just see, but not enter in that space. My master was inside in one corner. And in his vision, he could see like one of these guys going through the labyrinth, He was arriving like, exhausted. What a test for the mind with the medicine and going through the labyrinth. But this guy making it, like, oh, I'm here. But, the shock of facing this guy, your eyes are in a complete darkness, and suddenly you can see a little light. And what you see first is this guy in front of you with that face. My master said that in his vision that people arriving there, because of that shock, they will die. It was too much. The ones who could survive were arriving exhausted, and then two guys being on the side, the guardians of the place, facing these masks, this kind of like creepy masks, with the face of a feline or a puma or something like that. And these guys just waiting there for you to say something. And if, the shock and everything, you are tired, exhausted, and all of that. And then sometimes, people, I'm just imagining, if I were in that process, I would be like, okay, should I say something, When these guys didn't say anything, these guardians were offering more medicine. Saying, a beautiful cat, have this. Because you're receiving this from the hands of the masters, you say, okay, I'll do it. But after that, collapsing. This was really shocking for my master, and he decided to stood up and say, hey, master, what's going on? These guys are doing all their effort to arrive here, and you are giving them more medicine, and this is what's happening. And these guys telling my master, listen, the main purpose of this test here is that the people arriving here, they are coming with that pure heart to be always in service. So the ones arriving here, they don't want to wait for us to say something. If they are coming to offer something, they might say, masters, I'm here to offer this. My life in service, let's say. But if they don't say anything, then they are not ready, they're not prepared. And then we will offer them more medicine. And my master was, oh, I see, but still, I said, okay, to understand better, come here. He was in front of this guy, and he was like, I was waiting for you. And suddenly this guy just like do something like this with these big claws, like. And my master, he got really like quite like, shocked, because he could feel something just like crossing like this. And then this appearance, this skin fell off like I don't know, like my poncho, let's say, taking off my poncho. What was inside? Light, just pure light. And then my master came back from the vision. It was really vivid vision. It was like, oh my God, what was that? Remember, my beautiful family, that these temples were witnessing many things. And energetically, they are still recorded in there. So it's something that my master had access to in his vision, in his meditation, and thanks to the medicine of ayahuasca as well. My experience in this case was really funny. And I'll be ending with this, my beautiful family. The first time I arrived to Chavín, I took some medicine because this is the way that I wanted to go there. I was going exactly to, it's pretty much like this. I was in front of this. I thought I was humble. I was taking one of my brothers. He was going with me. It was the first time for my brother as well. But I said, I want to go first. I was going in and, you know, like this, like, oh, master, I'm here. I really wanted to meet you, you know, it's like that. And my brother was behind me because it's a really narrow passage. You can fit just one person, two if you're like, you know, sideways. I was like there, you know. And this guy told me, who is behind you? And I was like, what? Who is behind you? I was, oh, I'm bringing my brother. Okay, please move. I want to meet that guy. In my mind at that moment, I was like, what? What's happening? I was coming here to you know, to meet, you know, this master. And he just told me, okay, just move. I want to meet the one that is behind. And of course I did. I said, okay, go, you go first. And I decided just to, I was a little bit frustrated. It was like, why this happened? And then my brother came out and he was like, wow, what experiences. And then my brother told me, but why you left the place? First, why you move from where you were? And I said, no, because the master told me. But you know what the master told me? The master told me that we are translucid. So I could see through you, and the master could do the same with me. But apparently you were coming with your ego. This is why the master told you, okay? But the message for me was, you know, come back better prepared next time. Which means like, come back for real humble, not pretending to be humble. So that was my experience in this beautiful place, my beautiful family. And I hope that what I shared with you was, you know, informative. Thank you so much for your attention. And if anyone has any questions, something to say, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. I'm not, I don't believe that I have the whole truth. I'm actually being inspired in others as well, others investigation and things like that. But I was just as well trying to share from my experience a little bit in, you know, working with the medicine and experiencing, you know, being here in this beautiful place as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, dear Alfredo, for sharing all of your beautiful experiences and guiding us through this temple of Chavín. It was really great to see also all the images. I want to say something that I saw here in the chat just for clarification as well. I remember that you said pyramids have been built on top of each other when there was a new sort of dynasty coming up, and also the sort of long circle of time, like the precession cycle, like 26,000 years, so temples being moved. So temples were kind of built upon each other. And I also saw that you showed us that image of the Pleiades mirror with the 7 holes in it. And there's a question here if it is still aligned with the Pleiades this day, and when that moment is when the stars are reflected in the holes of that rock formation.
Thank you, dear Mayumi. We can't tell right now if these places are still in that exact alignment with these cosmic phenomenons. It's like it's as everywhere. One example, if when we go to Machu Picchu, to see the solstices, in all the temples, yeah, we can still see that it's aligned, but we don't know if they're like precisely aligned. In this case, in Chavín, the Huántar, I could go just a few times, so I couldn't experience. Nowadays it's everywhere. You have the entrance begins at 6, and you have to be leaving the place at 5. Especially to see, let's say, the alignment with the constellations. You should be there at night, but nowadays we don't have the access to do that. But what I was talking with some people in that place, they say that you can still see, the Pleiades constellation right now. No, from June and on, you can see the alignment of the Pleiades constellation with all the temples in the Andes. So I believe that that is the month where you can see clearly that phenomenon. But once again, we can't see that anymore, or we can't experience that anymore, because this archaeological site in Chavín is closed at night.
Thank you for clarifying. I also saw here a beautiful comment here that El Dazon, that monolith, that it was very old, and that this original carving was located in the Americas, that it was quite an old megalith there, and that it couldn't be extracted from the building, and that's why the temple has been around it and built around it. So I thought that was a beautiful comment there. We don't know, of course, what all happened in the ancient times, but that monolith is such an important aspect of that whole temple. So I thought to share that with you, Alfredo, and maybe you heard about this as well.
Thank you, Mami. Yeah, as I was telling you, the only tool that we use nowadays to date, the how ancient is each place is thanks to the remains. But the remains as well doesn't last that much. We have to understand that as well. So some of them might be like really well preserved, but even though, if it's like something like let's say a piece of wood or things like that, that's not going to last, like forever. The same with the food and all of that. That's why, in order to the remains, we can kind of have an idea of how old a place can be. But the other tool that we are using the most nowadays is the archaeoastronomy. Once again, these alignments with the cosmos can give you an idea of when these places might be finished. Okay, but even though though all of these are theories, all of these are just hypotheses, but we don't know for sure how old these places are. Nowadays, we're applying different other techniques of dating these places. Here in Cusco, someone was saying that Sacsayhuaman could be even 30,000 years old. That's true, then our history is completely different to what we believe nowadays. And it's not the only place. Many other temples around the Andes and around the world might be actually older than we believe. With Chavín, once again, because of this portal in front of the main pyramid, we know everywhere. When you have like a main temple, you're gonna have always a main entrance as well. But as you could see in the pictures, this one in Chavín doesn't take you anywhere, because behind the portal there's a wall. Or this process of building upon other pyramids was happening at that moment, or they were just trying to follow the ancient design of something that was there already.
Thank you, Alfredo. Yes, I believe also, as you spoke about Apu Wachuma and all the plant spirits, you also work with Mama Coca, and these are of course sacred relationships that one can have. I also have learned from you and Master Puma, your lineage as well, that we don't necessarily need to consume the plant medicine to receive information or messages. So there's also a question here like, how can we connect with Apu Wachuma without physically drinking it?
Mm, water. Water is a energy conductor, you know, and the composition of it help us to, to program. So when you want to connect, my beautiful family, to the spirit of the Apu Wachuma, the only thing that you need to do is to take something to drink, water, some tea, something, where you're gonna put your prayers and call on the spirit of Apu Wachuma. We have a keyword that we use here in the Andes to activate. The word is hampui. Hampui, which means like calling on the essence uh, of the spirit guardians, Say hampui Apu Wachuma. I'm willing to know you. I'm willing to meet up with you. And I want to experience your beautiful medicine or whatever you want to show me, or whatever you feel that I need in my process. And then 3 times your breath, and then you drink the water. So for me, this is the best way how to connect with the medicine without drinking the medicine, because in your prayers, you are activating the element of the water to manifest the spirit of this spirit plant.
Thank you. I believe, yes, we can connect with Apu Wachuma energetically and create already a relationship with it. And so prepare ourselves as well to actually physically take part of it. There's also a question here, Alfredo. I know this is not necessarily this topic, but someone is asking here what the difference is about drinking Apu Wachuma as opposed to Mother Ayahuasca. I think maybe we could focus more like what Apu Wachuma can do for us. I know you mentioned that we can connect with our pokpoks, with all of our energetic centers, and that it can guide us. But what is the medicine of Apu Wachuma that can help us on our path and our awakening?
From our perspective, of course, we perceive these two medicines like this. I will use this example, my beautiful family, but I don't want to offend anyone, please. Apu Wachuma is considered the grandfather, Mama Aya, the grandmother. Okay? According to our perception here in the Andes, the masculine energy is how can I say this? Like more lovely, a little bit more kind, rather than the feminine energy. The feminine energy is lovely as well, but it's lovely but strict. So when we drink these medicines, with Apu Wachuma, is like, is the grandfather coming? Okay, my son. Okay, my daughter. Okay, just go through the process gently. You don't have to push yourself so hard into the process. Okay, it's up to you. How do you wanna, release? How do you want to transform? How do you want to navigate through your process? But Mama Aya is like, come here. If you are here because you want to do the work, right? So you came for this, then do the work. It's pretty much like that, the process, especially when we are, transforming all of that. But at the, in the other hand, these two medicines are working pretty much in the same direction. They want us to be always like the best version of ourselves every day. One of them is taking you in, and sometimes not giving you actually any chance to even to react. While Apu Wachuma is, okay, this is the door. It's up to you if you want to cross to the other side, but I'm showing you this is the direction. And Wachuma medicine is working in the emotional space, and little by little deepening into the psychological and then the physical space as well. Mama I, on the other hand, is taking you straight to that, space, and kind of in some cases it's kind of like doing the part of the work for you, and then telling you the same thing. Okay, you experience all of this, then this is the portal. You want to go through, something like that. Pretty much my build family. Once again, I'm sharing this from my own experience and from the perspective that we have in relation to these two beautiful medicines. But Apu Wachuma can take you step by step. Sometimes Mama Aya can take you like, it can be like the accelerated, course.
Thank you, Alfredo. I know that we're going a little bit over. Is it okay to ask
Yes, Mama,
one
yes.
more? Yeah?
Yes,
Okay.
Mama, yes.
There's another question here about the Pleiades constellation, and what does it signify for you and your tradition and the Asian civilizations, the connection with the Pleiades, and potentially also connected to our Pokpoks?
The Pleiades constellation, my beautiful family, here in the Andes, is known as the Colca constellation. The Colca is the storehouse in the cosmos. The storehouses here in the Andes were just to save the best of the best. Yeah. So as the best of the best, we have this cosmic, storehouse, in the sky as well. But this one is not to save crops. This one is to save souls, to save spirits. How we understand this? In ancient times, in Incan times, being mummified was a high privilege. So not everyone was allowed to be mummified. And according to how transcendental was your service in this life, you weren't just being honored with being mummified, but to be saved in this cosmic house, cosmic storehouse. That's why after finishing, the mummification process, that a few of them were put in position, fetus position, and some of them were put like in this position. These two were with different purposes. The ones like being put here, they were the ones going back to the storehouse. And when we save the seeds, it's because we want to plant eventually. What was the idea? I'm saving this, let's say, from this group, the best astronomer, the best leaders, the best of the best. We want more people like this. Let's mummify, let's start, and then we will get more, thousands and thousands more of that quality of human beings. The ones being mummified like this, they were still in service. And those mummies were the ones taken to the temples to be the eternal guardians or the eternal guides. But in relation to the Pleiades, these guys. And this is, our relationship, but this was our relationship, with the Pleiades constellation especially.
Thank you, Alfredo. I want to thank you deeply for today. I thought, like, perhaps for closing, is there anything through your work with Apu Wachuma and the spirit world you perhaps like to transmit right now that is relevant for us and in this time?
Yes, Mama. Once again, my beautiful family, I just want to extend all my love, my gratitude as well to every one of you for once again giving me the chance to have this meeting, to have this conversation. I'm really happy, really honored. I'm still really nervous, The only thing that I really want from the bottom of my heart is that all what I share with you. I hope this is helpful for, for helpful in general, for your life, for your experience, for everything. At least like an information as well for you as well. So thank you so much. And what I want to share with you, my beautiful family, it's the medicine is within us always. It's just waiting for some activation. We call on our guardians, our masters, the medicine, mental plants. And sometimes actually we don't have even to, we don't have, like to consume unless you are ready for that. So you can just call on the presence and the spirit of the plants, and they are gonna arrive. They're gonna arrive in the way of a little breeze. They're gonna arrive in the way of a little fly. Sometimes they will arrive, and you will know that when they are arriving, because that's gonna happen just after you send Hampui and then the name of the master or the name of the plant. So you're like working with the essence, or as I was sharing with you, or you can have a little, a cup of something and just programming there and calling on, and then drinking that, working with the essence of this beautiful plant. Okay, my beautiful family, be free. Let's be open. Let's enjoy our beautiful life. Don't be too serious. This is something my grandfather used to tell me always. Don't be too serious. Be more playful, because this is what our people were practicing always in their daily lives, being playful all the time. This is how they could manifest everything that they manifested, So let's take care of our inner child, my beautiful family, our enclaw. The enclaw is that innocent essence within, and that playful essence within as well. So later, let's take care of that. And once again, just let's take every day as a really good opportunity of having new experiences in our life. Every day is a really good chance to get more. My grandfather used to say, we're always ready, never prepared. This day is the preparation for tomorrow. So let's enjoy our lives and yeah, let's be happy. Thank you so much. So before we always in deep gratitude to our Pachamama, Mother Earth, our Apus, our gardens, our guides, all the mentor plants, and all my beautiful family from the Andes, from the heart of the Andes, from the capital of the old Inca civilization. I'm sending you blessings to each one of you, a lot of love, much munay. Ampuy munay, ampuyachay, ampuyankay, ampuy kausay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, dear Alfredo. Thank you for sharing all of your wisdom and medicine with all of us. The chat was filled with messages of gratitude from everyone, and we will make sure to send that to you. I think you will enjoy that reading. So thank you so much. Your
Thank
presence
you.
is truly a gift for us all. And if you also enjoyed this session of today, I also want to let you know that we are planning a sacred travel to visit Chavín de Huántar. And so if you are interested to joining us, you can explore more by opening the link below the video description. We also have another sacred journey planned right after in the Sacred Valley. So if you hear the calling, please let us know. And thank you for everyone here for joining us in this sacred space together. We will close our session for today, and I wish you all a beautiful and inspiring rest of your day and weekend. And we look forward to connecting with you again at one of our next live events. Thank you so much.